All right. So I'm going to be reading from the Bible this morning, starting at Genesis, which is something that everyone has read if they're familiar with the Bible at all. But what I'm going to be doing is something that is probably way more informative than anything else that you get, uh, anything that I could find. What I'm doing is I'm reading the original Hebrew text, the scriptures. Beautiful book from the Institute for Scripture Research, and I got it from Grindstone Ministries. If you email them, they will send you one for free of charge. If you can't find it, I would go to looking at Bear Independent on YouTube, Bear Independent on the internet, across a couple of different platforms, but primarily on YouTube. And that, I mean, I would just recommend that anyways. I watch that guy a lot, and he he is also quite informative. But he, along with everybody else, seems to miss some stuff, which is fine. Nobody completely understands the word 100%. The best that we could do is kind of exchange information and try to figure out what this means. And just as a preface, sort of preamble before I start reading Genesis 1 here, uh, Hebrew is the original source material from where every single testament, the New Testament, the King James Version, everything came from the original Hebrew text, which was a language that was reconstructed. Now, what had happened is Hebrew was translated by the Greeks into Greek, and then the Romans translated it from Greek into Latin. And it went from there into, the Latin language family group, which I believe after Latin, Spanish was the oldest, and then after Spanish, French came along. Um, Eventually, we have the translation after being translated from different languages. And we eventually get the anglicized, the Anglo-Saxon English translation, and it's a little different from the original Hebrew, which was reconstructed. We still don't necessarily have uh, the most accurate translation of the original biblical Hebrew because nobody speaks that. We have the new Hebrew, which, something that was changed. I'll just put it that way. I won't get into it too much because we'll take a left turn and go down a rabbit hole with language groups, but it is important to understand that the original Hebrew is very different from the English that we have today. Now, with that being said, I will drink some holy water and get to this. And I made that coffee strong this morning. All right. Bereshith, Genesis 1. In the beginning, Elohim created the heavens and the earth. Now, in the New Testament, it's going to say God or the Lord created the heavens and earth. Back then, God was not a word that they even had in Old Hebrew, in Old Biblical Hebrew. The word God came from Gati, I believe. It was a term that was used to describe the people that ruled the world. The original term was El, which is singular. Elohim is a plural word. It means more than one. In the beginning, Elohim created the heavens and the earth came to be formless and empty, and darkness was on the face of the deep, and the spirit of Elohim was moving on the face of the waters. And Elohim said, "Let light come to be," and light came to be. And Elohim called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there came to be evening, and there came to be morning, one day. And Elohim said, "Let an expanse come to be in the midst of the waters, and let it separate the waters from the waters." And Elohim made the expanse and separated the waters which were under the expanse from the waters which were above the expanse. And it came to be so. And Elohim called the expanse heavens. And there came to be evening, and there came to be morning, the second day. And Elohim said, "Let the waters under the heavens be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear." And it came to be so. And Elohim called the dry land earth, and the collection of the waters he called seas. And Elohim saw that it was good. And Elohim said, "Let the earth bring forth grass, the plant that yields seed, and the fruit tree that yields fruit, according to its kind, whose seed is in itself, on the earth." And it came to be so. And the earth brought forth grass, the plant that yields according to its kind, and the tree that yields fruit, whose seed is in itself according to its kind. And Elohim saw that it was good. And there came to be evening, and there came to be morning, the third day. And Elohim said, "Let lights come to be in the expanse of the heavens, to separate the day from the night, and let them be for signs and appointed times, and for days and years," which would be our measurement of time regarding the moon, which is where we get our months from. The waning and waxing phase are about 2 weeks each, so that's why you have a 4-month month or a 4-week, a 4-week monthly period, roughly, if you don't include February and that. And then, of course, the year is measured by the sun, and time itself is a measurement of the Earth's rotation around the sun. But anyways, "And let them be for lights in the expanse of the heavens, to give light on the earth. And it came to be so. And Elohim made 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day, the sun, and the lesser light to rule the night, the moon, and the stars. And Elohim set them in the expanse of the heavens to give light on the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to separate the light from the darkness. And Elohim saw that it was good. And there came to be evening, and there came to be morning, the 4th day. And Elohim said, "Let the waters teem with shoals of living beings, and let birds fly above the earth on the face of the expanse of the heavens." And Elohim created great sea creatures, and every living being that moves, with which the waters teemed, according to their kind, and every winged bird according to its kind. And Elohim saw that it was good. And Elohim blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and increase, and fill the waters in the seas, and let the birds increase on the earth." Here we see the very first commandment, which is not included in the 10 commandments that everybody is familiar with. The first commandment being, "Be fruitful and increase." "And there came to be evening, and there came to be morning, the 5th day. And Elohim said, Let the earth bring forth a living being according to its kind, livestock and creeping creatures and beasts of the earth according to its kind. And it came to be so. And Elohim made the beast of the earth according to its kind, livestock according to its kind, and all that creep on the earth according to its kind. And Elohim saw that it was good. And Elohim said, Let us make man in our image." There's that plurality again. Elohim being a plural word, El being the singular version. "Let us make man in our image." Now, the reason for this, if you were to look up, Yahwism. 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 Then, if you read on that a little bit, then you'll find out that the Hebrews used to be polytheistic, meaning they believed more than one God, which would be monotheistic. It was a faith that evolved over time to become monotheistic. And the reason why you have this plurality here is because we're talking about El, and he's called Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh, or Yahweh or Yahuwah, however you want to pronounce it. And Asherah, I believe, was the mother goddess. And we're just going to flip to Judges 6 real quick, where she is mentioned. Judges 6, verse 24. And Gideon built a slaughter place there to Yahweh and called it Yahweh Shalom. To this day, it is still an Ophrah of the Abiezrites. Abiezrites? I don't speak Hebrew. My apologies. And the same night it came to be that Yahweh said to him, take the young bull of your father and the second bull of 7 years old, and you shall throw down the slaughter place of Baal, or Baal. Baal was a warrior storm god, which is how we would say it today. But like I said earlier, a warrior storm El, it was kind of like the Hebrew version of Zeus a little bit. However, he was not the point leader of the pantheon. He was not in charge of all. He was not the all-father, so to speak. Anyways, and you shall throw down the slaughter place of Baal that your father has, and cut down the Asherah that is beside it. And you shall build a slaughter place to Yahweh your Elohim on top of this rock in an orderly way, and shall take the second bull and offer an ascending offering with the wood of the image which you cut down. So this was probably a wooden figurine of Asherah, which was said to be like the wife of Yahweh Elohim. However, you do not worship the wife. You do not worship the goddess. It says clearly several times in this book, you do not make false idols or bow down to other mighty ones. The other mighty ones being the old polytheistic deities that the Hebrews living on the eastern Mediterranean and going up even into Mesopotamia, Persia. All of these regions are very close to Ukraine, to Greece, Palestine, all of these places where you see these statues of the ancient Greeks. You could get an idea of what these people look like, and where everybody was from was in close proximity to some of the earliest empires that we have historical knowledge of. But anyways, so Yah is commanding that this person cut down this wooden figurine, which is alluded to here in Judges 6. And I'll just go back to Genesis 1 here. And Elohim created the man in his image. In the image of Elohim, he created him. Male and female, he created them. So, again, just to reinforce that plurality, that there was a goddess and a god, and Elohim is likely a word a descriptor for the combination of both goddess and God, the plurality of the two. Why he said, "Let us make man in our image." Elohim creating him, male and female, which would not be in the image of the male, obviously. And female, he created them. And Elohim blessed them. And Elohim said to them, "Be fruitful and increase, and fill the earth and subdue it, and rule over it, all the fish of the sea, and all the birds of the heavens, over all creeping creatures on the earth." And Elohim said, "See, I have given you every plant that yields seed, which is on the face of all the earth, and every tree whose fruit yields seed. To you it is for food, and to every beast of the earth, and to every bird of the heavens, and to every creeping creature on the earth, which there is a living being. Every green plant is for food." And it came to be so. And Elohim saw all that he had made, and see, it was very good. And there came to be evening, and there came to be morning, the sixth day. The 6 days that he labors, on the seventh day he rests. And I'll get to Genesis 2 next time I feel like recording. Yeah, I guess that's going to be it for today. I think I covered everything I want to cover. There is a lot more for me to get to that most people that read this and record themselves reading it don't seem to bring up. And even the people that are more into the esoteric interpretations of the Bible, they seem to miss this stuff as well. So if you like it, spread it to other people. Do your due diligence, do your own research, double check what I have said. And, like I said, if you appreciate this information, share it with other people. And I'll probably upload it to, some platform where you can give it a like. I mean, I'm not too concerned about that sort of thing. I'm more concerned about solving the problem of our interpretation of the word, and how there seems to be some people that say this is not what it means, this is what it means, trying to help people understand the Bible a little bit better, where it came from. And there are some additions even in this book that were not in the original Hebrew text. But this is a tradition, a book that was passed down by a survivor of a great cataclysmic event, a great flood. There are stories of a great flood all over the world. Just about every origin story of every peoples across the entire globe has somebody that showed up on a boat and taught them how to live, taught them about agriculture, taught them about handwriting, about laws, about how to create a civilization. And one of the reasons why the Bible is important is because it is one of the few remaining literatures that come from the survivors of this great flood. And I think I've rambled enough. I think that's good enough for today. So y'all have a good one. Take care. Shalom.